Hi Pradeep, good evening. So I think we'll start off with Diksha and we'll have the other panelists joining in like 5 minutes. So just give me a moment, Diksha.
So I think we already have questions coming in the Q&A section.
Yes. I think the students are really excited to, get hold of all their queries. So we'll just quickly live stream this and start off. All right. I think we're good to go and we've started our live stream on our YouTube channel as well. So, firstly, I like to welcome everyone out here to another very amazing session on Shiksha. And as we know, that today's topic is all about preparing well for your boards alongside with competitive exams. We know a lot of exams for different boards have already started, and there are a lot of students who are preparing for that along with their competitive exams. So it's a tough time dealing with two very important examinations, I believe. So, to discuss more on this, both for career wise and psychology wise, because these are two very important things which need to be guided in a very right way. So, on our panel today, we have two very eminent people from two different fields. One will be handling your career related queries. She'll be joining us here in a moment. And the other guest we have today is Diksha Gautam, who is a counseling psychologist from Peak Mind. So, firstly, Diksha, thank you so much, and a very warm welcome to you on Shiksha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bhagyashree. And I welcome each and every participant who has joined here. And I'm hoping to answer each and every question that you are asking in the Q&A right now and that you will be asking shortly. So stay tuned and I hope you learned something from today's session.
Absolutely, we do agree, and thank you everyone who are joining us from different modes for this Zoom webinar. And I like to extend a warm welcome to each and everyone, all of you. Okay, so let us just start off, about this entire conversation, Diksha. Like we know the board exams are on. A lot of them will be like for different state boards have different timetable. So some are ongoing, some will be starting, and we also know this is a very peak season of exams, right? I mean, the 3 months are very, very crucial for both students. And a lot of them, they are preparing for, different competitive exams. And I'm sure they have a lot of things going on. Like they have to prepare for boards, which is again important. They have to prepare for their ahead exams. So if we talk about balancing both, they try to balance both the exams and both are equally important. So, what all mental challenges do they face, during this very crucial time?
So I think that's a very important question that you have asked, Bhagyashree. And I believe this is one of the most challenging times, as you have just mentioned, for the students, because this is a time where they have to understand and give their boards. They have to also prepare for competitive exams. So they do go through a lot of mental health challenges. For example, one of the major concerns that I come across while I talk to students these days is exam anxiety, that they're unable to handle the stress. They are feeling so anxious that it is becoming very difficult for them to even go into the classroom and give the exam. While they're giving exam, they're sweating, they're feeling so nervous that because of that nervousness, they are making silly mistakes and they're not able to write the answers the way that they want. So this is one of the major concerns that I come across. Another major concern that I come across is that since they're handling both, they're handling boards also, and they're handling competitive exams preparation as well, and everything is going on simultaneously. So it's getting very difficult for students to manage their time and their syllabus. They're not sure where to start, how to start, which subject to pick up first, which subject to study in the morning, whether the pattern that they are following, whether the revision techniques that they are following, whether it's appropriate or not. So there is a lot of confusion about how they can utilize their time in the best possible way, which kind of strategy is going to be the most effective and as per for them. So these are the two major concerns that I come across. Apart from that, of course, there are issues related to, ma'am, that we are getting a lot of negative thoughts, thoughts of failure. What will happen if we might fail? What will happen if I'm not able to clear this exam? Especially people who have been repetitively trying to give exams, who are in the repeaters batch, they have intense pressure on their minds. They feel like if they are not able to clear the exam, even in their first or second or third attempt, how will they show their face to the parents? The expectations that they have from themselves, from their parents, and also from the society, and the kind of pressure it creates on the students, it all adds up to the anxiety that they experience. So yes, here and there are other issues as well. But if I look at the broad category of concerns, then time management and exam anxiety are the two major concerns that students come to me with. And I think we have a lot of student population here. So you can just let me know if you disagree with my answers, if you think that, I am not able to cover up any particular concern that you want me to answer about.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, Diksha, for that answer. And I'll quickly pick up a question I could see here in Q&A. So this comes, the student has not mentioned his name, but I'll just like to read out the question. So he or she wants to know, what would be your advice to someone who is applying to multiple courses because they're not completely sure of what they want to pursue, and they are facing a trouble choosing a specific line of interest. So I think the particular student wants to know how can they decide on their mind and take a strong decision that, okay, this is the right course and I should pursue this and go ahead with that.
Very, very nice question. Whoever has asked this, I think this is really, really important because not just you, I am pretty sure that the many students present here must be in the same line, must be feeling confused about which career option should they go for. So first thing, you need to look at your strengths. What are the things that you are actually good at? What are the things that you can do it little easily and where you do not have to check your time again and again? So find out your strengths, find out where your interest lies is the second point, and look at the match. Which area or which field do you think that there is a match between your interest and a match between your strength? And that is the career option that you should, follow for yourself. Now, again, when we try and look into the strengths part that I'm speaking about, it might take some time. Sometimes we are not able to figure out what our strength is, or even if we are able to figure out, again, we might, make a list of the professions that, we might be good at, or we might want to go into. So it's always good to talk to people who are in that field already and also research more about those professions in as much detail as possible. Read different blogs, read different articles, and as many people as you can, or you can interact to who are particularly in part of that field, talk to those people. So while I was preparing for my NEET examination long time back, I was also preparing for a competitive exam. I was also in the same boat. I was also preparing for JEE simultaneously because I had PCMB as a subject combination. So at that point of time, I was filling up all the entrance examination form. And I really hope that at that point of time, somebody would have given me this advice. So I would have gone with biology itself. So it's very important, first of all, summing up my answer, focus on your strength. Second, focus on your interest. And whichever career field matches the both, you research about that field, talk to the people in that field, and then decide.
All right. So I think we have a very good example of someone who has already been through that and who is also guiding a lot of students on these. So Diksha, just rolling up this thing, that what was your whole experience? I mean, how did you tackle? Because since you have the experience, I think a lot of them are here to know about NEET and competitive exams, and together doing also. Just share a few thing about your experience.
So I honestly feel that I wish even now I would say, and every time I talk about my experience, I wish that somebody at that point of time would have told me that these are the time management techniques and this is what you have to, this is how you need to prepare. So I was very confused. I did not know where to go, what to do. Somebody was saying that okay, you opt for PCM. Somebody was saying that okay, you opt for all the four subjects because that will open more career options for you. But ultimately, you need to see how much of it you can manage and where your interest lies more. So I took up PCMB. I was going into one of the premier institutes for my NEET preparation. So I was balancing my school. I was balancing my school attendance and then going to the private tuitions in the evening and then going to the coaching institute during the weekend. So I did not have any time. So I was so confused and so overwhelmed all the time. And it was getting very difficult for me to manage my time and also manage my emotions because there was too much to do and very less time. So that is why I do understand that, this is one of the challenging periods of the students who are preparing for both as well as competitive exams, because their life is going to change from here. They're going to get into their dream college. Some people might give an attempt again. But the important part is whatever concern that you're facing, you open up about them, talk about them, so that a professional like us we can help you in the best possible way.
Right. Thank you so much, Diksha, for sharing your personal experience, because I think, students can actually relate themselves when they get to hear some real life experiences on that. All right. I'm moving to another question from Satvik, and he wants to know about how can you, maintain that kind of time management, because as a student, I know they must be finding it very, very difficult, to balance and giving a particular time to each of the exams and still having that peace of mind. So how do they maintain that?
Very true. See, Swastik, I'll give you certain time management techniques, but again, it can vary from individual to individual and to what sort of timetable that you follow. So I will give you some generic time management technique. For example, there is one technique called Pomodoro technique. So what does this technique say? That whenever you are studying, you study in slots as per your attention span. Some students can concentrate maximum up to 30 minutes without getting distracted. Some students can concentrate up to 50 minutes to 1 hour without getting distracted, even for once. So you study as per your attention span. The moment you start getting distracted, the moment you start thinking about other random thoughts or start daydreaming, or you are just getting tempted to use probably your mobile phone, or just to get up and have some walk, if that all is happening with you, it means that your body and mind is telling you it is a time to take a break. A lot of students do not realize the importance of break, and they just keep on pushing themselves, and that is what makes the situation worse. So if you're trying to manage your time, first of all, work as per your concentration slash attention span. Study for 30 minutes, study for 40 minutes, take a break of 5 minutes, go to the loo, freshen up, do some exercises, do some jumping jacks, take a walk, and then come back with a glass of water. Again, repeat the same cycle. Again, you study for 30 to 35 minutes, take a break of 5 to 7 minutes, and repeat this cycle for 3 to 4 times, and then take a longer break. To make this technique more effective, what you can additionally do is prepare a to-do list 1 day in advance. For example, if I have to plan for tomorrow, then what I do is before sleeping today, I will make a list of things that I have to do tomorrow, and I will be doing it using this Pomodoro technique itself. So, for example, if I have probably 3 tasks in my to-do list, that I have to do chapter number 1 of physics, I have to do chapter number 2 of chemistry, and chapter number 3 of biology. Okay, so these are the 3 tasks in my to-do list. Arrange them in the order of importance and urgency. Okay, I have my I have my physics exam before, so I will be preparing for physics chapter number 2 first. And that is how you start preparing right when you get up in the morning and you sit for study without wasting any time. So these are the two techniques that can help you, hopefully. And if not, you can, reach out to us if possible personally, and we can talk about it in detail. But these strategies, both of these strategies, are definitely going to help you, sir.
Right. So thank you again for that answer. And I think we are joined in by our another panelist, Dipti Singh, who is an expert career counselor, a member of FICCI, and she has been an integral part of career counseling strategies for our government. Ma'am, thank you so much and welcome again on our webinar.
Thank you to you. It's been a really long day today, but I think I've been able to manage.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking out time and being part on the webinar. So we have Diksha, who is a counseling psychologist from Peak Mind, also for the same webinar on the panel.
Yeah.
All right. We just answered few questions, and I'd like to move on to a few more questions that is coming in from students. And Ananya has a question. Let's just see what she wants to ask. She says, "What if I have an interest in both science and humanities, and both of them are my strength? I have studied science in 11th and 12th, and I feel I should switch, but my parents are really not supportive of the decision. What should I do?" So Deepti ma'am, you would like to suggest us something in taking a major decision about parents being not supportive and how to take the right decision?
See, I understand that at this age, there are many alternatives. In fact, if I was in her place, I would say I'm good in engineering also, and maybe in biology also, and maybe in art and craft also, and maybe in singing also. I have passion for dancing also. So career is not just about what you are good at in scoring. It is about what you can sustain throughout your life as a profession, make money out of it. If not money, a living out of it. So my suggestion would be that when you're at a point when suggestions and interest, everything is conflicting, it is always good to take advice and guidance. And of course, we do first reach out to our parents. After parents, I think there are many professional counselors and professionals and psychometric tests and assessments and hands-on techniques and tools to tell you that what is your flair and where your career can be. So apart from just telling you what is your interest, it's important that can you make a career in it. So I think a next step is for her is that for after parents, it is experts who can advise you, take some kind of assessments and understand what is the right choice for you.
Right, absolutely. And I think, Ananya, that would actually solve a lot of your problems and, help you understand and have a discussion, a healthy discussion with your parents and, decide on the right thing. All right, I'll move to another question that comes from Harini. And I think Diksha could take up this. Harini says, I tend to give up all the preparation once I fail. Is there something I can do to break this cycle?
Okay. So, Harini, I know, getting up again once you have failed or you felt that, you have experienced a setback, it's getting very, very difficult at times. But again, we need to understand that what we are actually trying to achieve. We need to look at the bigger goal. What is your goal? And, it might sound a little philosophical, but not everybody, I think each one of us who is here right now, we all have failed at some point or the other, right? So we need to motivate ourselves. We can use certain affirmations for the same. For example, I can do it. I believe in myself. Even if I have failed this time, I'm learning from my mistakes and I can do it again. I can do better and better each time. So you get up, and while you're motivating yourself, just stand in front of the mirror and start using certain affirmations. And this definitely is going to help you to some extent. But again, looking at the bigger goal, looking what you're trying to achieve, looking at the fact that this is where you need to go, you will fall a lot of times, but you need to get up, and affirmations can really help you in this, your journey.
I think, Harini, that will actually help and solve a lot of issues. So, whatever we are discussing here in this webinar is very, very crucial for all of you. So, please be very attentive and please ask your queries, whatever you want to know, whatever you have doubts in your mind, because this webinar's purpose is to help you both mentally and career-wise, to guide you in the right way, right? Okay, I'll move to another question from Sneha, Sneha G actually. She says, our CBSE exam is going on, when and how much we shall study for JEE during this exam, and what shall be the proper strategy? Dipti ma'am, if you would like to take that.
Yeah. So this is not today's problem. This has been existing for years and years, maybe more than 20 years now, that the the academic examination coincide with the competitive examination. And over these years, despite various revisions or various interventions, the whole idea has still been the same, which is that there is some alignment happening or there is some overlap happening between the competitive exams and the academic examinations. So I think we might not be able to change much about it, but what we can do is prepare better. We know what is our syllabus for our class 12 well in advance. We know the syllabus for JEE entrance exams well in advance, and we then have to prioritize our day or our preparation in certain way that we are able to do justice to both our academic examinations as well as competitive examinations as well. So to the long short of it is that this is going to be like this for another years to come. Your preparation strategy has to be such that you devote, if not equal, a little more time to your competitive exams, because they are the game changers actually, because they decide where your next step is going to be. So I would suggest a little more attention on competitive exams.
Right. I totally agree to this point that they are actually the game changers and they do decide a lot. I'll just like to extend another part to the same question, Deepti ma'am, which comes from another student, Hemal. If they are preparing during, the exam time, they are preparing, they're revising. So what should be their studying time during this, for revision? How much time should they like dedicate, for the peak hours? Like they're towards the exam peak time and they have to dedicate time for revision for both. So how should they manage that way?
See how I used to do it, and how my batchmates, when I was preparing for IITs and other competitive engineering exams, we used to focus on the exams, like the board exams or the class 12 exams, and there was at least a month or 1.5 gap between our competitive exam and our academic exam. So that's how we prioritize that what comes first is prepared in a stronger way, and in between when and where I think that I'm feeling that I should just go and revise that stoichiometric concept, or inertia ka concept in between my academic exam preparation, I can take a break and do that. So that's how we used to do, prioritize what comes first, and then give dedicated full days to the competitive exam preparation. I think
Right.
Deepika wants to say something.
Diksha, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I think Deepti ma'am has covered like a good chunk of the answer. It's very important to prioritize and see what you're going to study first or revise first. In addition to that, I would like to say that, different strategies work for different people. For Deepti ma'am, the strategy, the technique, the way that she shared,
Right.
that worked for her, it might work for many other students as well. But if this method is not working for the others, you might have to look at it from a different perspective. Maybe you can use certain specific revision techniques. For example, mind map is one of a very, very, very effective revision technique where you have everything in just one flow of a chart. Or you can use some shorthand notes. Or you can have like what I usually suggest students when it comes to revision is that once you are done with the topic, okay, you are done with the chapter or you are done with the topic, you close your book and now you recall that chapter again. What were the topics? What were the subtopics? What all formulas did you learn in this particular chapter? You don't have to go back and look into your notes. You just have to keep recalling into your mind, or maximum what you can do, you teach the same topic to yourself, considering the fact that you are a small 10 to 11-year-old child. So this will help you understand how much were you actually able to understand and store it in your mind, and what chunk of it, what part of the topic or what part of the chapter you need to go back and look into and understand and read it in a better way. So these are few techniques that can be beneficial for some of the students. And again, try and see which one works for you. Mind maps might not work for everybody, might
Right.
work for your friends. So again, whatever strategies Deepti ma'am suggested and the ones that I have given it to you, you give a trial and error to all of those and see which one is suitable as per your needs.
Absolutely. I totally agree to that. And okay, Parth, if you have any question, you can lower your hand and put your question in the Q&A section, please. Probably will take up your question then. Okay, Diksha, I'll move to another question, which is coming from another student. And he or she says, one day you're focused, you can study the entire day, but the next day you just cannot focus. Every word that you're reading is like slipping out of the head. So how to be consistent, throughout, and keep those things in mind?
A very nice question, and I think I have spoken to my students also a lot about it. And it's completely okay to not have focus on some days. You're not a machine, you're a human being. Okay, so if you feel like, one day or 2 days you're able to do so well and you are being so productive, but the next day you're not being so productive, it's completely okay. But what you can do is try and utilize the amount of energy you have, the amount of focus you have in the best possible way. Maybe if on Monday you were motivated and you were able to study for 8 to 10 hours, on Tuesday you were able to study only for 4 to 5 hours, then ensure that the 4 to 5 hours you study in an effective manner. Whatever you learn in that time slot should be stored into your long term memory. And you need to keep on revising that. And again, also listen to your mind and body. This is something that I had already covered in one of the answers. If you are losing focus, try and understand what is the reason behind it. Maybe you're not giving yourself enough breaks in between. That is why you do not feel like studying again. Maybe the previous day you pushed yourself so hard that now your mind needs to relax for some point of time. So you find out the reasons why you are losing focus, and again work on that, reason. And again, focusing on the point that it is okay to lose focus some days. You need to understand the reason and work accordingly.
Okay, so Diksha, just a part of the same thing, Satvik wants to know that how do we get that concentration, to keep that focus, every day and not just one day, and the entire preparation is there, the entire focus is there.
Very true, very important. I think as aspirants, all of us want to have like a full focus, full concentration, 24/7, and all weeks of the day. But Satvik, it is practically not possible to be motivated, to be focused all 7 days of the week or 24 hours. So again, as I said, if you're trying to increase your concentration level, or if you're trying to work on your attention span, for example, right now, if you can only study for 40 minutes at a stretch, you can start with small steps and from 40 minutes, study till 45 minutes. Then again, take a break. Slowly and steadily, you increase that 45 minutes to 50 minutes. There are a lot of brain gym exercises that you will find on YouTube. You can start doing those, and that is again going to increase your concentration level. So anything that you're starting to work on, for example, if you want to increase your concentration span all of a sudden from maybe 25 minutes to 55 minutes, that is practically not possible. You cannot do that. So every new thing that you are trying, whether it's for the focus, whether it's for the concentration, whether it's for the time management skill, you start with small steps. Okay, and I hope that helps. Patrick.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much, Diksha. Okay, this question comes during the registration process, and I think Deepti ma'am could answer this. Ma'am, there are a lot of students who have registered, and they are in a dilemma of choosing the right course after 12. They have given 12, but the results are not yet out. But they are in a dilemma that how will they make a choice for themselves after 12th? What would all be the right courses they can look for if they're an average student, or if whatever score they have, like if they have to choose the right course, what all parameters will help them decide that?
So I think first of all, apart from your class 12 percentage of marks, before you start looking at different competitive exams, taking higher education, graduate or integrated programs, or maybe look for opportunities in international universities, or look up at courses like 1 year 2 year diploma programs in fashion se lekar ke automotive engineering or anything. So you have to first be aware about various careers also, and not just be hindsight in the sense that you're only looking at whatever your friends or your peers or your relatives or your seniors or your cousins have done. So my first important lesson every time is that when you're looking at careers, look at from a very holistic perspective, which means that get as much information as possible about careers, which means not just competitive exams, but graduate, undergraduate programs or integrated programs, or international universities, or taking up professional courses in animation or designing or anything. So there are multiple areas, and CBSE has come out, had actually come out with a compendium of various courses. So it has around programs, actually, not courses, programs. So it has around 70, 80 plus programs in that compendium. So if you will write CBSE compendium of courses after class 12, so a whole list will come up. Apart from that, there are many other opportunities or websites that have collated information about various careers. I will not take particular names, but then yes, these websites short-term program training program websites like Udemy or Coursera and others, they also tell you about what is an upcoming skill, what are the areas where employment opportunities are going to come up, and what are the various careers or various exciting new jobs that are existing in the market in today's time. So they are very futuristic in their approach, because they're not just about Indian faculty or Indian trainers or teachers on that platform. There are international people also who come and teach about their courses or tell about their courses. So it gives you a very good exposure about how education or skill based education works in other countries as well, through these portals, like these websites like Coursera and Unacademy and others. So I think that is how I would say that any kind of preparation or any kind of decision on what career you should take up should not just be based on your instinct. It should be an informed decision based on collective wisdom taken from your seniors, from advisors, from experts, and also looking at the market demand. So वो time चला गया जब सब engineering करते थे और engineers ही बनते थे या doctors ही बनते थे. Now it is more on the competency and skill based job opportunities, where we are looking at not just technical skills, we are looking at soft skills, and we are looking at 21st century skills like cognitive skills and thinking ability, problem solving, and so much so forth.
Right. So I think one of them have also asked that what should I do after 12 as I'm pursuing commerce? Someone like, I think this stream also helped them decide a lot of things after 12. If someone is from a commerce background, like what would you like to suggest them?
So there are multiple options apart from your CA exams and financial services exams. The banking sector is quite huge, but then you'll have to see that what kind of courses you want to take. Again, there are courses around financial literacy, banking, financial services. There are courses around from ICFAI also, from NIFA also. So you can take up stockbroking courses or understanding of market shares and others. So there are a lot of opportunities. You'll have to first look through these small modules or capsules of courses to understand what is your area of interest, and then opportunities in bank PO examinations, recruitments, like in the public sector banks are also one of the options for commerce students.
Right. I think Parth, that would really help you, as in what all options you have, after doing 12th, and since you have the commerce stream, right? So I'll just move to another question coming here. I think Diksha would like to take that. So the student says, what will be your advice for people who are delaying decisions because of the fear of making the wrong decision and then regretting it later? So I think he or she is in a kind of dilemma that he is not able to solve. So if you can guide him or her for the right way.
Sure. So it looks like there's a lot of confusion and also fear of making the wrong decision, which can lead to a lot of things. For example, you not ending up taking any decision. So what you can do here is, to clear up that confusion, make a list of pros and cons. That is going to help you decide whether this decision that you're planning to take is whether it's going to be more of an advantage for you or whether it is more going to be at a disadvantage for you. So when you will make the list, when you are making that list itself, you will get the clarity whether this is the decision that you should take or not. And also think about it in as much detail as possible, right? Look into different perspectives. And as I said, even if you are confused about your career, then also Deepti ma'am also mentioned that it is very important to do the research and know more and more about that. So it's very important again to look into the pros and cons and get into the depth of whatever is troubling you right now.
Right. Actually, and we'll just move to
Bhagyashree,
few.
what I'll add here is that,
Yes, ma'am.
I have seen over these years that, decisions, whatever, you fear you're going to take a wrong decision or right decision, there are choices that we make. And, when we make choices, there are a lot of factors that are factored in or that are considered when we make decisions. So I don't think any of us should be scared of making decisions looking at the point that what will be the outcome. That's why I'm saying that make informed choices, make informed decisions, so that the possibility of going wrong reduces. But however, all said and done, if you like being in a certain job, or how your career flourishes in the coming years, you might like being a CA, you might not like being a CA. That is something which is very, very evolving. So for the fear of unknown, you should not think that you should avoid a decision or fear of making a decision. Go ahead and make your decision. Just take advices as much as possible.
Absolutely. I agree to that. And I think that's a very good advice that I think all of them who are attending this webinar should understand and follow strictly. Right. Okay. I'll just move to another question coming here from Bhuvan. Okay, Bhuvan, let's just try if we can help you out. How should we study if we're going to write two different entrance exams like MSET and JEE Mains? So, Dipti ma'am, can you help him and guide him? Like, he is in a dilemma. I'm sure I can sense that from his question. Two different exams, and how should we study for both?
Mm. So I think the difficult question is that you're writing two exams, and and if the content or the syllabus of both the exams is very different, then it becomes even tougher choice, or even tougher way to manage things, or to manage your course, or to manage the syllabus. However, the key is prioritizing again. Work on your strongest subjects, whatever are the common subjects between the both the exams, work on them, so that at least if once you're thorough with those concepts, you are sure that you're going to score well in both the exams. And then work on prioritize the one which is more important to you, which gives you more opportunities for admission, which means that if the score range is in between certain numbers, then it gives you a larger window to apply through number of colleges which are more in number. So like that, take a calculated decision that if you pay more attention to this exam, and if you score somewhere between 100 and 150, what are the kind of colleges that you're going to get. Similarly, for the other exam, if you're writing and you get a score between this and this, what are the kind of colleges that you will get. So that kind of information is required to prioritize which exam you should be focusing on.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. And I'll quickly move to another part. I think a lot of them have a lot of questions regarding JEE because JEE is approaching. So I think a lot of them are sitting for JEE exams and they are eager to know. So we'll try and take your questions. But before that, I'll move to Diksha for another very important question that I see here is, I mean, how can parents play a very crucial role in this tough time for students who are juggling between two very important exams of their lifetime? So what role parents have over here?
I think parents play a very, very important role at this point of time. And at times, they are involved in the decision making process. Specifically in India, if we talk about, parents are involved in every step. So that is why it is very important for students to have a good relationship, healthy relationship with their parents. So if you are listening right now, if your parents are listening right now, I would say that it is important that you have a healthy environment at home. There is open communication where you can speak your heart out, where your parents can speak your heart out, and wherever there is conflict that arises. For example, sometimes it can be that you are at one end of the rope and your parents are at the different end of the rope. And there are a lot of clashes and then arguments during that point of time that are going to happen. So it's very important that you both push yourself into the middle, negotiate, and decide what is suitable as per the requirement and as per both of yours suitability. Very important in that case. Very important. Another segment is listening. At times when parents and students, they end up having an argument. A lot of times, both of you are not listening to each other. Both of you are just, waiting for the other person to stop saying so that you can speak and you can respond and not, understand what the other person is trying to speak. So at this point of time, if you are having fights, arguments with your children, or the same goes for the children as well, if you're having arguments and fights with your parents, it is going to be another added pressure in your life. So it's very important to have open communication, listen to your parents, parents also listen to the children, give respect to each other. In India, it is always considered that, students should give respect to children, or students should give respect to parents because they are elders. But today we also need to understand that children also deserve respect. Students also need respect. That has to come from both ways. And what parents can additionally do, because a lot of times students come to me with a concern that parents do not understand that we need our space to study. You don't have to come in and again and check how much you have done, or you have such limited time left and this is the only topic that you have covered. How are you going to do it? The child already knows that he has a limited time. The child already knows that, okay, this is the portion left that he needs to cover. So instead of going into their room again and again, it is important that you have a discussion with your child on the same lines. That, okay, today, if you have planned this for yourself, then probably by the end of the day, I will come and we will speak about what all things you were able to cover, what all things you were not able to cover, and what can we ensure so that whatever is left, you can do it the next morning. So that sort of communication needs to happen between the parents and children so that the home environment is stable and this argument and fights doesn't become a reason for another added pressure during the examination time.
Right, right. Absolutely. Thank you, Diksha, for that answer. And I'll quickly move to another question that is coming here. Okay, so Kushi wants to know, needs some help in career guidance, and she wants to know best colleges for environmental engineering. So, Deepti ma'am, you have any suggestions for Kushi for environmental engineering?
I'm thinking. So apart from the IITs and Indian Institute of Science, tier 2, I think HBTI offers environmental engineering, Great Lakes, Terry, the Energy Research Institute. There are quite many. There's one in Dehradun as well. So these are the top 5-10 colleges that offer environmental sciences or some programs in environment.
Right. And Khushi has another part of the question that I think Diksha would like to take. She says, some days go nice, but some days I do not feel like studying. So Diksha, quickly answer on this.
So again, Christian, you need to understand what is happening on those 13 days. Why are you more productive on one day and why you are not productive on the other day? You get into the nitty gritties of it, try to understand the reason behind it. And also, as I mentioned while I was answering the focus wala question, is that you need to understand whether you're giving enough breaks to yourself or not. If you'll keep on studying every time, you'll keep on pushing yourself to such an extent that your body and mind is tired, it is automatically in different ways going to tell you that, I need a break. So that is why taking enough breaks is very, very important. If you're losing focus, if you're not, able to be productive, understand the reason behind it, work on that reason, right? And that is how you can overcome this challenge.
Right, absolutely. And I'll quickly move to another question that was coming from Bade Anil. Okay. So, Diksha, he has a very, I'm sure, very interesting question actually. So, he wants to know how can we control emotions? I mean, he wants to know about controlling sleeping in afternoon classes and controlling different emotions. So, what all they can do to control their different emotions?
Absolutely. It's a very important question. It is one of the major skills that we look into when it comes into 21st century skills. So controlling emotions is actually not possible. You cannot control your anger. You cannot control your sadness. You cannot control your happiness because they are emotions and you're human. So you're going to experience both positive and difficult emotions. But what you can do is manage them when it comes to the difficult emotions and also ensuring that the actions and the behavior that follow the emotional expression, that is what you need to work on. For example, if you're getting angry because maybe you have not scored good in your exam, it's okay. Of course, you will get angry. Of course, you will get sad. Something has happened that probably you must have not imagined, or probably this is what not you expected from your exam. So you are going to feel angry. You are going to feel sad. So first of all, acknowledge that you're feeling sad. Acknowledge that you're feeling angry. You don't have to say, no, no, nothing has happened. I am okay. I am not angry. I'm not sad. Yes, you are sad. Something has happened in your life. You are sad. First of all, recognize the emotion that you are experiencing. Label it, whether it's sadness, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, whether it's something else, maybe excitement. A lot of times we end up showing anger while we are actually sad because we do not know how to express sadness, right? When we want to cry, we end up shouting. So understand which emotion you are experiencing and accordingly channelize that emotion. For example, a lot of times out of anger, we end up slapping our children, or children end up beating each other or abusing each other. So that is one of the way of taking that energy buildup out of your body, which is sort of unhealthy because it is harming you, it is harming the other person. So, what else you can do in a better way to channelize that energy? If you see yourself getting sad, you write it down about the situation that made you sad. What happened? Why are you feeling this way? And do something that makes you feel better once the energy is out. If you're feeling angry, punch a punching bag. Go for a run. Go for a sport. If you can do nothing, just sit with a pen and a paper and start writing or start scribbling so that the energy comes out in a proper way and it does not harm you or it does not harm any other person in the home or in the school and does not disrupt your relations with them. So that is how acknowledging, labeling, and working on them. These are the three steps that you can follow while you're working on your emotions.
Right. Thank you, Diksha, for that wonderful answer. And I'll quickly come to another question that comes from Prince. Okay. So I think Dipti ma'am would be able to help him out in this. So, ma'am, Prince says he wants to know the timetable to study GATE exam because he's a college student and he reaches home at 5 p.m. So if you can guide him with some sort of study plan that he could follow.
So, Prince, I think my top three recommendations would be that, I'm an engineer also. So we know what is the pressure of gate and how do we have to prepare, and we usually try that, we are able to crack it in our final year of engineering only. However, some of us were able to, some of us were not able to qualify. So the first tip is that you know identify your strength, which means that if you are able to memorize or work or learn the concepts easily, depends on your trade of engineering as well. So if you're able to work on your conceptual knowledge very well, so then try and take up as much as concepts or topics in one day, which means that after you come back, you relax for some time, spend 3 hours at least, maybe 6:30 to 9:30, or let's say 7 to 10 kind of a time schedule, where after you come back you relax a bit and maybe play for 1 hour and then start studying. So 2-3 hours in one day should be good, and in those 2-3 hours you could look at making a timetable where you start focusing on things that first interest you, so that you get into a momentum. So if uh, whatever subjects, algorithms or data analytics or anything, whichever is your favorite subject, start with those subjects, and the course material from the or the syllabus from the gate exam, so that you are kind of deep diving into a topic which you've already studied. Which means that, for example, in your engineering you've been given an introduction to data structures, and then in your gate exam syllabus there is a deep diving of data structures, and then you're trying to gain more knowledge on it. So that's how you should begin. 2-3 hours after your college, I think, I know it is difficult, but then you should try and sneak out that time. The second would be, after you've selected the courses, after you've selected the hours of study and your topics of study, and prioritize in your timetable what you're going to study when. then you stick to it and try and follow it as much as religiously possible.
Right. And I'll take another question, ma'am, from Tuhina. She says, how to prepare for JEE means when the toughness level of 12th board and engineering entrances are so dissimilar. Boards are comparatively much easier than entrances. So what would you like to say, Deepti, ma'am?
So I will say that the struggle is real, the game is real, the competition is real, and this is how we've made it. However, you might hate it or like it. This is how it is, and that's why there are competition preparatory centers which start coaching for IIT from class 6. So that's how the demand and supply of this market is going on, and like it or not. It is severe, it is tense, and it is immense, and that's why you will see plethora of books, content, training institutes, coaching centers, A sir, B sir, D sir, doing every kind of teaching everywhere for IITs. So because the IITs, they promise a very strong future, strong packages, strong placements. So that's why the drive is very, very huge and very popular for them. At the same time, I will not say that uh, thousand I think 1500 or 2000 seats ke liye pura India baithta hai, and then that's the end of the story. I think there's much more to our lives. There are hundreds and millions of careers now. Millions to nahi chalo, hundreds of careers which have come up with the
Yes.
post pandemic era, which we had never known. So we want to become fashion designers, but then there are so many other options in the fashion industry apart from just designing a garment, right? From stitching se lekar ke to presentation to um, management of an event. So there's so many jobs in artificial intelligence that have come up, from cloud computing, where there's so many applications that you see on your phone, so many benefits of payment transactions, of financial technology that has come up. So the careers are immense. And your science background and your acumen towards science and technology is going to benefit you. So look beyond IITs as well, and do not think that this is the end of the journey.
Right.
It's just
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so Anshuman, you can just drop in quickly your question. I'll just move to another question which I see here, and I think Diksha would like to take this up because this deals with, I think, exam anxiety. That's again a very important part. So the student says, at this time, when marks are seen as the only criteria by the society to judge how hard a student is working. So this particular student has many exams in between the boards, which is obviously hindering his preparation towards CBSE. So he is in a dilemma that what if I don't get good marks in class 12? So I think he is suffering from some kind of exam anxiety. And how would you like to suggest him, Diksha?
Yes, I think there is some sort of anxiety in there. If not anxiety, there's a lot of worry that I can see. The child who has asked this, the student, he's actually worried about what people are going to say and what will happen if he's not able to clear the exam. So let me tell you one thing, that your anxiety is taking you way away from the present. Right now, you are gone into the future and you're imagining situations that have not happened yet. So, in such situations where you start wondering about what is going to happen if I am not able to clear my competitive exam, or what is going to happen if I'm not able to clear my board exam, and other thoughts that keep on coming and coming and coming. This is how negative thought cycle work. One negative thought will come, one difficult thought will come, and then after that another will come, and then another will come, and within minutes you will be in the loop of overthinking. So, what you can do at this point of time, first of all, realize that right now you're moving away from the present. You are imagining scenarios, 99% of which are not going to come true if you're going to come back and focus on your present. So, when you start thinking about future events, first of all, literally show your mind a stop signal, a big STOP red signal to your mind, and ask it to come back in the present. That you have gone literally too far, please come back in the present and focus on what you have in hand right now. So what I have in my hand right now, that I need to prepare for my board exam as well as competitive exam. What can I do right now so that the future events that I'm imagining, they do not come true? I need to make a proper timetable so that there is a balance between the two. And focus on your present, and your present will take care of it. So use
Right.
this technique to come back to the present and focus.
Right. And before we move to last few questions, because we are like towards the end of the session, I know the session timing is limited and I am not able to take all the questions because I still see a lot of questions, but I'll take a few last questions. But just before taking up those questions, I'm shooting a feedback poll for all of you, so that we get to know your feedback for this entire session that we have hold, and I'll try and hold more such counseling webinars, because I could see this has helped a lot of you, both taking decisions for the right career options. Also, psychologically, I think a lot of you have asked really honest questions that I could see here. Like, those are very, very simple things, but those are very honest things that students have asked. So I think I really appreciate students for asking that, and definitely Shiksha will try to come up with more such counseling webinars that is helping you, and probably I could see that that will guide you and give you the right direction. So if we are successful in doing that, we'll definitely try and come up with more questions. So I don't know how much questions I will be able to take up in the next 5 minutes, but quickly after this poll, I'll take few last questions before we move towards the wrap up of the session. So I think all of you, meanwhile you're filling up the form, we'll just throw another question, which I think Deepti ma'am can help for another student. Deepti ma'am, so we have this question of a student. Should I take up a course of my choice at a tier 2 university having an average placement record, or should I take up any other course in a tier 1 university?
Depends on your score, my dear. So, and then your priority. I'll say that because, at times moving out of your house and the budget for moving out to tier 1 city might be a challenge. So it's not just about the college or university being in tier 1 or tier 2 city. The whole concept of tier 1 and 2 cities comes from the point of cost of living, which means that you're not just the studying cost, but also staying there, your fooding, lodging, everything goes up substantially when you're in a tier 1 college. So take a decision. That's what, the beginning of the session till the end, we've been talking about. Make informed career decisions, informed choices, that it's not just about lovely professional university or Pearl Academy or Sharda University because they are in tier 1 cities, or tier 2 universities, state funded universities because they are in tier 2. It depends on your choice of course. It depends on your budget. It depends on your family constraint of family situation, that if you're okay to move out to a different city altogether. So take all these 3-4 points in consideration and then make a choice or make a decision.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. Okay. I don't know how much questions I can take. I'll just take few more. Anshuman, I think we have already answered your question. Okay, Anshuman wants to know. Ma'am, I'm scoring between 170 to 190 in my All India test series of Akash Byju's. Please tell me, ma'am, that how to increase it, and with this mark, which college I can get. Deepti ma'am, would you like to answer him for that?
So first thing first, any I don't know taking names, but then any Baiju or Fiji or VMC or ABCD test scores, where do I stand nationally, is not the right parameter to judge you, I think, or to assess your performance. I will not say judge, I will say to assess your current performance or assess your preparation for a competitive exam. My suggestion would be that apart from just the basic thing of saying work hard and be your own competition, focus on dedicated time for your preparation. Don't forget to revise, because most of the things, they come back to your head once you've just revised it one more time. So revise and do mock assessments, self mock assessments, and then score yourself. Honest mock assessments, I think that should be the best way to take you, apart from your competitive scores from multiple academies.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. I think that answers your question. And coming to Diksha, like, we spoke about mental health, we spoke about exam anxiety, and I think emotions, parents' role, of course. And we did talk about all of them, but just wanted to know, this kind of mental stress of students, does that affect their physical health also? And how, and like lastly, like what tips will you suggest them to balance and keep their mind in calm and peace, and balance the exam and their life along with it?
Oh, that's a very important question, Bhagyashree. So definitely, if you're taking a lot of stress and if you feel that you're experiencing a lot of worry, anxiety, you will see its impact on the physical health as well. A lot of times, you must have noticed in yourself or within your friends that during the exam period, a lot of children fall sick. So that happens because, they are taking so much of stress that it is coming onto their physical health as well. At times when we are experiencing stress, so it's not in the shivering, it's not in the sweating, it's sometimes upset stomach that tells you that you are under stress. So both of the physical health and the mental health, they are linked. And when we are preparing for competitive exams, we know that it is a challenging journey. So it is very important to take care of both your mind and body. How can you take care of your body? You have enough sleep, you take good food, a balanced diet, and you also do some amount of exercise. If you don't have time to do like an hour exercise, at least 15 to 20 minutes of exercise or yoga or meditation or simple deep breathing practices during your breaks, 5 minutes break, can really help. So you can search about deep breathing exercises. A very simple one is box breathing, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and again hold for 4 seconds. So very simple deep breathing exercises like these can actually help you in maintaining a good mental and physical health and also calm your anxiety. Apart from that, specifically if I talk to you about mental health, then journaling can be a very, very good exercise that you can do before sleeping. If you feel like there are a lot of negative thoughts that were troubling you during the day, or they're not letting you speak or sleep, sorry, then you can probably write those thoughts down, how they are making you feel, any particular solution that you can look for right now, or you can come up with while you're writing about those thoughts, about those emotions, write about them as well. So what will happen again, your energy will get channelized and you will get a better sleep, and also all the thoughts, all the emotions, you have just poured it out on that piece of paper. And one thing, again, additionally, that I would like to tell all of you is that during this process, we at times forget to take care of ourselves. So, at least for 10 to 15 minutes in a day, do one thing that you really like and that does not involve gadgets. For example, a very simple thing can be that's something that I do every day after finishing my day and wrapping up my day. I sit in the balcony, I play some old music, old songs, and I also enjoy the weather and drink a cup of coffee. That is my way of spending time with me, doing things that I like after I am done with the day. So similarly, since you are also putting so much throughout the day, and every time you're thinking about marks, about rank, about competition, it is important to give 10 to 15 minutes every day to yourself to do things that you like. If you like singing, do that. If you like dancing, do that. Play some Michael Jackson song and just start dancing. That is going to help you take care of your mental health and also physical health.
Thank you so much, Diksha, for all the lovely advices. Dipti ma'am, before we wrap up, one last piece of advice to all our students, because I know we cannot take up all their questions. They have so many queries related to their career, and we'll try to come up with more such counseling webinars and help them and guide them. So what would be your last piece of advice to all of them?
My last piece of advice is that talk, communicate, and create awareness. Matlab, the kind of questions that we are getting, I get a sense that students have not have had a free opportunity to talk to anybody about these questions. And if at an online platform, students or candidates are coming up with questions like these, imagine the kind of unawareness that exists in the current education system, which is unfortunate. And I would ask all people who are listening to kind of bring everybody together, ताकि हम एक दूसरे को हेल्प करके सही डिसीजंस लेने में हेल्प कर सके. मेरा करियर और अच्छा हो सकता अगर मुझे क्लास 12 में बताते कि आई हैव अ फ्लेयर फॉर मे बी dancing rather than engineering. So 5-7 साल इंजीनियरिंग करके, इंजीनियरिंग की जॉब करके जब मुझे ये रियलाइज हुआ कि नहीं, आई डोंट थिंक आई एम मेंट फॉर एन इंजीनियर, I should probably get into dancing. And then I restart my career at 28, 29 with dancing. Imagine the time and money that I have lost in it. So we need guidance, and guidance लेने में कोई बुराई नहीं होती है. We are not born with intelligence. People learn from experience. So create awareness, talk, and get as much as people involved talking about careers as possible.
Right, absolutely. And I think that these two wonderful piece of advices coming in from these two panelists really winds up the entire session. And we are very sorry, we're already 5 minutes up on the time. But for any left out queries, please, dear students, make good use of askseksha.com. We are there to help you and guide you and help you connect with our panelists. So please connect with us on the website and shoot your queries. We'll try and answer your queries. Also, I could see a lot of you were asking about CUET webinars, JEE. Please keep a good track on our LinkedIn pages. We are coming up with CUET webinars, JEE webinars, live series. So we are coming up with a lot of prep videos, prep counseling live for IAS and UPSC and for different exams. So please keep a check. We'll be planning up more such webinars in upcoming weeks. So please follow us on LinkedIn, on Instagram. And if you have missed out this particular session, the entire video is available on our YouTube channel. So you can subscribe our channel and you can watch the entire video again if you have missed out any part of this session. I'm sure a lot of you have missed some part of it. So you can always go back and check out the entire video. And lastly, thank you everyone for joining us here on the session. Thank you to both our panelists, Deepti ma'am and Diksha, for taking out time and suggesting and guiding the students in the right way. So thank you so much and hope to see you again.
Okay, bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice seeing you, Diksha.
Yeah, same here, Deepti ma'am. It was lovely, having a session with you.
Yeah. Same here. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Bhagishri. Thank you
Bye,
for the
ma'am.
opportunity.
My pleasure, ma'am.